Welcome back to episode 6 of the Tailgate Talk Show. I am joined by Kian and Tony, co-hosts.
What's
Say
up?
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
Today, we got for you guys running back and wide receiver rankings for Dynasty and Fantasy Football. So, we're doing top 10s for each, and we got honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list despite being as talented as they are for their own respective reasons. And we're going to be starting off with running back. So, our honorable mentions for running backs, we got Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Swift, and Travis Etienne. And this is no shot towards them by not making the list, but after talking about it with these guys, there's just a couple reasons why we think the guys on the list are better than the honorable mentions that I listed. And we can shoot right into the top 10.
So I'm going to start us off here. At number 10, we have Rachaad White, running back for the Buccaneers. I mean, he's just straight up dog. He gets involved in the passing game. He gets involved in the running game. I mean, I think top 10 RB last year in Dynasty and Fantasy. So there was no way this dude was not making the list, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In our league, he hit RB4.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane. He gets a huge upside. Well, he has a good connection with Baker Mayfield, first of all. Baker, shout out to Baker, honestly, because I had Rachaad White last year. So he made Rachaad look real nice for me. Leading from RB4 finish.
Now.
I got Rachaad this year, yeah.
Yep.
Rachaad is definitely one of the best receiving talents at running back for at least this year in fantasy, but for the future, definitely would invest in Rachaad White.
Yeah, Rachaad White's a dog, honestly. Before we looked at stats and stuff, I would not have put this guy on the list, but his stats this season blew me away. And he was just Mr. Consistent, honestly. Like they have Mike Evans, but they have Rachaad White now.
And he went completely under the radar. I feel like nobody was talking about him.
He really did.
He had
I knew obviously because I had him, but
Rachaad White absolutely deserving to be here. Moving on to number 9, we got Devon Achane. I'm still not quite sure how to say his name. But this guy, upside absolutely is there. Was hurt for a lot of last season. I think Hunter said he was out for like 6 or 7 games. So obviously unfortunate situation for Achane. He does split with Mostert, and Mostert had a great season as well. But it's hard to ignore that he's, 23, 24 years old, and his production is through the roof already. Top 30 running back, while being out half the season, is still very impressive. Can't forget the game against the Broncos, week 6, I think it was, where he had 4 on the ground and 200 something yards.
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable performance. This guy absolutely deserves to be here, and if you can get your hands on him, definitely worth it in Dynasty. Absolutely still worth it in Fantasy as well.
Yeah, Devon Achane's a little weird. This is why we put him so down in the list, because despite missing 6 or 7 games, whatever, I think it was 6, but 7 including the bye week. So despite missing 6 games, he still had 5 weeks where he finishes a top 5 running back. And there is a chart that was posted, I think it was by PFF, of running back impact ratings. So when they're on the field, how much they impact the success of the team. And that's graded out of 100%. Devon Achane is the only running back in the history of PFF doing the rankings that broke the list. He was at 113%.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
insane impact for the Dolphins. And that's what he's so much potential, but we had to put him lower on the list just because he's splitting with Mostert and he missed a couple weeks. So that obviously hurts him, and that's why he's where he's at.
Yeah, can't play when you're injured, but I mean, it is what it is at that point. But
so now we get to move into number 8, Green Bay's brand new running back. I would be excited about this guy, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a powerhouse running back. Run through a motherfucker's face.
Run through a motherfucker's face.
He gets it done.
Yeah.
He gets it done. For the Raiders, he was phenomenal with a very mid offensive line. So, I mean, Green Bay has a little bit to do with their offensive line with the loss of Bakhtiari and did they lose their center? They lost somebody else, but they got a little bit of rebuilding to do. But I mean, with a subpar offensive line, he's shown that he could still be as productive as he was. for the last couple of years, he's been really productive, and I see that continuing for a long time.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs, like Hunter said, just to run through you, run over you, and he can really get involved in the passing game. I think that's a very underrated side of Josh Jacobs as well. Out of the backfield,
Yeah.
he can totally be a receiving back, and it's kind of like you wouldn't expect it from a guy like him, but he can absolutely
Another
do
crazy
it all.
stat: this dude might think one of two things. He either thinks he's a rapper, or he thinks he can beat Philip Rivers, because this man has 9 kids. No.
Who? Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs has
Nice.
9 kids.
Nice.
Damn. He's going for
This
the
man-
record.
This man's fucking
He's not
pregame
only
music.
fucking the dudes on the field.
His pregame music has got to be all future. Gotta be.
Oh, it's got it, yeah.
It's got to be.
That's amazing.
No, but I am a big fan of Josh Jacobs. My only concern with him is he's been in the league. He is 26, but he's got 6 years in the league as a ground and pound type of running back.
Yeah.
That,
when does
you
that?
know, he's taken a lot of hits.
When does that come back to bite
And-
him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you look at his stats, he is slowly declining over the years, and that's why I actually did move on from Josh Jacobs. Like, I went out, I redid my whole running back room, but he's still a good player. He's still going to produce, and that's why he's number 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
But moving on to number 7 here, we have Jonathan Taylor, and he had that whole little thing in the beginning of the year. What even was it? Just like contract bullshit, basically, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's
With the
just
owner.
like holding out because he wanted money.
yeah. But second he comes back, immediate impact
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the field. And I mean, really helped that Colts team out, who I don't even think he got a chance to play with Anthony Richardson.
No.
So
He only played with him for, I think, a game?
no, I don't even know.
One game?
I don't
Because I
even
think
know if
Anthony
he
Richardson
did.
only
Or
played
he
4
came
games.
back the game that Richardson went out.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
happened. So I mean, he was putting up great numbers, obviously with Minshew last year, and he's gonna have Richardson next year. That's definitely gonna take some pressure off of him because teams aren't gonna focus on the run, knowing they have a backup in. And Minshew is a good backup and everything, but
Minshew's
with
probably
Anthony
the only
Richardson in there-
backup in the league that I would
Yeah.
consider like could be a starter.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's gonna definitely even do better this year with Richardson in there, taking some pressure off of him, playing a whole year. Zach
Yeah.
Moss is now gone, so
Yeah.
That's a
I think he's
huge
definitely produced.
piece.
Yeah,
That's a huge piece of his game, Zach Moss being gone, because even when Jonathan Taylor did come back, they were slowly putting him in. Because I got Jonathan Taylor last year, beginning of last year. And when he came back from injury, they were slowly starting to move him in. But Zach Moss was doing so fucking good.
Yeah.
I was kind of shitting myself. I was like, oh my God, like he might stay, get his fucking contract, and I might be boned, right? But nah, Zach Moss left. Tony had a good point. I think Anthony Richardson takes some pressure off him, even though he is going
will
to
run
take some
though.
rushes.
Yeah, he's gonna
take some rushes, some touchdowns. That's totally fine. But he's in a good offense behind a good offensive line with a young quarterback. I think he's going to be good coming up here soon.
Yeah, I think he'll have, very, very much so continued success as in years past. If he can stay healthy. That's the biggest thing with JT is he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
But moving on to my guy, Saquon Barkley. Unfortunately, bro went to the Eagles.
We rock.
Unfortunately,
He went to Penn State.
no, that would be fortunately. Penn State's a great school.
Oh,
Saquon
well, I thought you
Barkley,
said fortunately.
he is just unbelievable. I mean, really, really wasted his career in New York, in my opinion. I was very sad to see him go to New York in the draft
Here
all
comes
those
the
years
Giants
ago.
hater.
Well, it's not
Both
even
of
like
you.
that though. Like we're
No, I
gonna,
know,
we're
I
gonna
know.
see him play in
Genuinely
Philly this year, and we're gonna see him absolutely light it up, and it's just gonna make me depressed that he wasted half of his career in a bum organization like the Giants.
Yeah.
But Saquon Barkley absolutely still can produce for you. He is, I think, 26 or 27. I have him on my fantasy team. He's in a brand new situation behind a great offensive line. I mean, obviously, with the loss of Jason Kelsey, it's a little bit different, but nonetheless, they still got a great offensive line there in Philly. And Saquon can really do it all as well. He's another one of those backs that can get involved in the pass game, give Jalen Hurts another target out of the backfield. And Saquon is just unbelievably talented. I think he is probably the best running back out of Penn State in the past. I don't know how long, honestly. But
I think he might be the best running back out of Penn State.
yeah,
honestly,
and,
I think he is.
honestly, I would have to agree. But nonetheless, Saquon Barkley is a must-have on your team if you want to go for a shot in the playoffs. I think he's going to produce all year long if he can stay healthy. He's another one of those backs. He's got to stay healthy. He has a past with injuries, but if he can stay healthy, he's going to be productive on the field, both in the running and passing game. He's going to get you those fantasy points, and he's really not going to struggle doing so.
Absolutely. And at number 5, we got Kyron Williams. This is my second back on my fantasy team.
Go.
So, Kyron Williams played 2 years in the league. His first year, he didn't really play. I don't know why he didn't play. I didn't know if it regarded injury or because they had other players on the roster, whatever
they
it was.
thought Cam Akers was going to be it, though, too.
So, last year, Cam Akers leaving, and I think Darnell Henderson, was their second back, got hurt. And now he's off the team. They put Kyron Williams in the mix. And ever since that, they haven't looked back. Kyron Williams has been an absolute machine on the ground. And the Lions. The Rams don't have that amazing offensive line. They're another subpar offensive line. But he seems to squeeze through the... Okay. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. We're not starting. I've stopped myself.
Misinput. Calm down. You calm the fuck down. There's a misinput.
This is progress. I'm sorry. Listen, I've been to rehab a little bit. I'm getting better.
This is great.
But Kyron Williams just seems to make things happen when you think nothing can happen. And I love that about him. And I picked him up. I just picked him up off waivers. And possibly the greatest waiver wire pickup I think I've ever had in my entire life, because he has balled for me, and he's part of the reason I was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, a lot of talent coming out of.
He's only 23 years old. He's a machine, and I think he is going to end up staying, despite the whole running back market thing, and Sean McVay being one of the biggest running back haters after the unfortunate result of Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Todd Gurley. He was a dog, but. Yeah. Even with Sean McVay being totally against paying running backs, I do think there is a huge possibility of Kyron signing that second contract and staying with the Rams. So with that being said, I would take your shot. As a Kyron fantasy owner myself, I would take my shot with him and don't look back.
Yeah.
I also think Todd Gurley and Kyron Williams are two different types of running backs too. Like
absolutely.
Todd Gurley was just different.
Gurley was that ground and pound, like run over you, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And Kyron's more of like, he's elusive, he's smaller. So I mean, like those type of running backs get injured. Those fucking ground and pound running backs. So yeah.
One wrong cut
Moving
though,
on.
and ACL could be in half. Never know.
Yeah.
Running back is a tough position.
It is.
Running back is tough.
Also the most replaceable position.
Okay. Running back in Dynasty is probably the most risky position to invest in.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a couple scenarios I can name where I would definitely invest in a running back, right? The biggest thing is if they're young. Because 90% of the running backs that are in right now are from that magical unicorn 2017 draft, where they got all of those running backs from the first round all the way to undrafted. All those guys are getting old now. So it's kind of, and majority of them are still starting somewhere. So it's really hard to try to find a running back that's younger in a good position. Really, there's only 3 of them, which you're going to see on this list later on.
Yeah.
That's what makes it tough.
Yeah.
100%. But going on to number 4 here, we have, come on. You knew he had to be in here. CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Easily the best running back, the best running back. What am I saying here? Best running back fantasy Dynasty, doesn't even matter. Remember this is Dynasty list though, so the younger guys who are producing to his level are going to be above him. But if you are a contender, Christian McCaffrey easily is just gonna win you a chip.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Absolutely.
been our RB1. I mean, I know there was the injury concerns with him, and he kind of fell this year. Like he honestly kind of fell in like multiple drafts, like a lot of people's leagues. Like he was not going top 3, even fantasy wise,
Mhm.
just because of his injury concern. But I mean, he proved everyone wrong. You're gonna see him go in top 3 again in fantasy drafts. Dynasty
Yeah.
still probably round 1. I mean, like I said, if you're a contender, definitely you want him on your team. He's gonna win you that championship, no doubt about it.
And age really isn't a factor with CMC, I've noticed. Like, no matter how old he gets, he's just still producing at the level that he always
Yeah.
has.
He's
And-
not declining either.
Yeah, he is one of those running backs that just is. He's like a Mike Evans of the running back. He like just is Mr. Consistent, and he's consistently at a high level. And he's one of
Yeah.
those running backs as well that is just so well versed in both the pass game and the run game. He really can do it all. He can line up at a wideout, take a jet sweep right around you. He can line up in the backfield, take a run, or go out wide for a pass. He really can, set up so many different plays on your offense. He is so versatile, and it is crazy to see the way that the 49ers use him, because I think he is just
He's scary.
unbelievably talented.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in the semifinals this year, all my guys were done. I was up like 42 points or something like that. And dude, I was going against only had Christian McCaffrey left, and I was genuinely worried. I was a little bit worried.
I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with him or not. I'm not.
And that's so
It's
normal too.
understandable.
Like, that's so normal.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Like,
But I got lucky because
any given week he can put
was
up
the
like
game.
50 points.
Yeah, he had like 24 at half, but that was the game they played the Ravens, and they went down big in that second half.
Oh,
They couldn't
yeah.
really run the ball. So I got really lucky there that it wasn't a close game, because he probably breaks 40.
Yeah.
And I should mention our league is half a point per carry. So, I mean, that's why, like, that 42 points, like, that was really, really doable for a guy like
Yeah.
CMC.
Oh, absolutely. Even
And the only
not
thing-
so. Even not so.
Yeah.
Just a disclaimer, like as Tony said earlier, Christian McCaffrey would be number 1 on this list, but since this is Dynasty,
Yeah.
he's 27 years old. His production is not declining yet, but
Maybe ever.
there are guys that have longer futures. That's why
Yeah.
he's a little bit lower on this list.
Yeah. Agreed. So next up, we got our Lions guy, Jahmyr Gibbs. We talked about this guy last week. Just unparalleled talent. This guy is 22 years old, and he's already putting up insane numbers, and he's in a great offense. Pretty soon, he probably won't be splitting with David Montgomery, getting touches and touchdowns taken away from him. Jahmyr Gibbs is that all-around back. He's another one like Christian McCaffrey who can get involved in the pass games. And Hunter was saying last week he was trying to get my sus counter up. He was like, "Oh, his hands are like glue. What does that mean?" Okay, buddy. But and he's not wrong though. You throw anything towards Jahmyr Gibbs and he catches it, and he takes it
Yeah.
another 15 yards. The yak on this is just unbelievable, and it's just we haven't seen a running back like this in like 2 years, which is kind of crazy.
And he's shifty. Like, this dude is shifty as fuck. Like, he can get out of anything, too.
The running back talent that's come out of like this last draft, just in the top like 10 alone. Where was Jahmyr drafted? He wasn't top 10.
12.
Was he? He was 12. Yeah.
He's drafted at 12, yeah.
And then another guy on this list was drafted top 8 or top 7, I think.
So we're entering, as we get into these top 3 guys, this is an area where if you have the funds, you push the chips in for them, because these top 3
Yeah.
guys
Absolutely.
are going to be here. These top 3 guys are going to be here for a long time. These are people that are always going to produce as long as they're healthy and on the field. And there is no signs of them slowing down or splitting snaps or anything. So these are guys that you push the chips on if you have the funds and you go get them. Especially if you're rebuilding. If you're rebuilding, then this is a way to go.
But
So moving on, we're gonna go to number 2. We got Breece Hall. Talk about electrifying. This guy, when he's on the field, he's pretty much, him and Jameer are everything to their respective teams. Besides, the Lions have Amon-Ra and Jets have Garrett Wilson, but the Jets just rebuilt their offensive line. Despite the turf monster at MetLife, because we just gotta hope Breece Hall stays healthy.
very real thing.
And a very real thing at MetLife. But they rebuilt the offense. They completely revamped it. They got rid of some people. They brought up somebody back that played good for them. They brought new people in who have been dominant their whole career. I see Breece Hall easily breaking 1,000 yards this year. Very easily. Maybe even I would go as far as say 1,200.
Don't forget, he gets in that passing game a lot too.
He does.
Yeah.
And that's like a common factor, I feel like, with a lot of the guys on this list. They get involved in both the running and the passing game. That's just the new era of running back. If you can't do it all,
too, for
you can't do it all. You're not going to.
Like
you're not going to have as much success as the guys higher on this list. Like, we got guys like Josh Jacobs on here. Yes, they're very talented. Yes, they can get involved in the pass game. But the top 3 guys that we just talked about, they aren't just getting involved in the passing game. For a lot of them, they are half of the passing game.
Yeah.
They are a large portion of the passing game. Like, you see, like, the 49ers or the Lions going down by a couple scores. The running backs are not getting less involved in the game. They're just transitioning over to getting more touches through the air.
They're finding different ways to get
the
respective running back the ball.
Exactly. So, if you
And I
can't
think
do it
that's
all, though, that really does hurt you in today's.
And that's
league.
a huge reason why Breece Hall has been good. I think Robert Saleh, I don't know, Tone, I haven't watched much of the Jets besides when we traumatically lost to you guys, but
Ouch.
Robert Saleh has done a very good job of getting the ball in Breece Hall's hands.
Yeah.
No matter what the game plan is in their respective week, especially with horrible quarterback play, with Aaron Rodgers going down, he still managed to get Breece Hall the ball through the air too.
Yeah.
I think they've done a phenomenal job with that.
You can give Breece little screen, he'll break it for a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Like he's elusive, he's fucking lightning fast. Yeah.
He's just like
even week 1 when we were slowly bringing him back in, like I think he only got like 10, 12 touches, but he had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And he was breaking there was one play he would have gone all the way, but Garrett Wilson started celebrating instead of blocking, so it was just a little tragic there. he threw up his arms like that, and then
the guy he was supposed to be blocking.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, you thought."
Ouch. That sucks.
But let's move on to our number 1 here. We have Bijan Robinson, running back for the Atlanta Falcons, and you didn't really get to see too much of this guy last year. Shout out Arthur Smith. But with Arthur Smith gone, Kirk Cousins in, you have Drake London, you have Kyle Pitts, you got Darnell Mooney.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
But, there's a little bit of pressure taken off. They have, decent good quarterback play now. This dude's 21 years old.
Yeah.
With already a year under his belt.
And a lot of time.
When he did play, he played amazing, and he showed his flashes that he's gonna be scary. He's gonna be a scary guy to line up against.
Dude, and you watch his tape out of Texas. This guy is so shifty. Like, it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just the change of direction, and then he's back up to full speed in like 3 strides. It's unbelievable.
Rewind back to last year's draft. He was the most talked about running back since Saquon Barkley, if that means anything to you.
Exactly. It means a lot to me personally. Honestly. I watched.
He was the
Saquon
most
for
talked about.
2
I
years in
think the
Penn State.
highest drafted running backs. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I think he might be the highest drafted running back since Saquon.
I think you're right, honestly.
I'm
Because I
not
know,
too sure.
I'm pretty sure Brees was taken.
He was
the
taken
first
second round.
RB. Yeah, I think he was the first running back taken on that draft. It
Yeah.
was like second round.
Yeah.
Yikes. That'll be like this year.
Yeah, you got to think though.
Yeah.
Saquon was also drafted in 2018, so that was like right
Yeah.
when the running back market started to tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't know.
But nonetheless,
Yeah.
Bijan's a guy. If you can get your hands on him, there is absolutely no reason that you shouldn't.
You
You're
move
gonna pay
a lot of.
heavy
You
price.
move all of your assets in on Bijan Robinson. He's got a lot of time. Like Tony said, he's 21 with a year under his belt already. He's going to be good for a long time.
Yeah, he's gonna be real.
Move your assets.
So we're gonna actually transition now into our wide receivers. I'm gonna start off with 3 honorable mentions, guys that just did not make the list. You have DJ Moore, Mike Evans, and Jordan Addison. I mean, all great players, you know. But let's go into the top 10 here.
Alrighty, starting us off at number 10, we got Nico Collins, wideout for the Houston Texans. Now, we wanted to put him a little higher on this list, but with all the talent that's higher on this list, I mean, there's just no moving him up, to be quite honest with you. This guy is so talented, and honestly, me and Hunter were very shocked to look at his stats. We did not realize that he had the season that he had. He was, I think...
I knew he was good, but god damn.
I want to say he was either, he's top 12 or top 10 or something
Yeah.
this
He
year.
was wide receiver 6.
But
I think.
that's a double-edged sword because now they got a lot of eyes on Houston. They made a bunch of moves. They got more mouths to feed. So we'll see how he ends up this season, but absolutely worth going out and getting if you can get him. Nico Collins.
He's
very
only, what,
talented.
25?
He is not very old. So, I
I
mean.
think he's 26.
26?
Yeah, he
he's
might
still
be a
got a
little
lot of time.
older. But
Not 100% sure though. So
he had an absolutely stellar season. Breakout season. I mean, I can't think of season in the past that he's had as successful as this. But
Thank you, CJ Stroud.
yeah, thank you, CJ Stroud, honestly. But Nico
I
Collins
just knocked that
definitely
whole
worth.
fucking mic over doing that.
Anyways, this guy's a stud. If you can get your hands on him on fantasy or on Dynasty, it would absolutely be worth it. And there's really limited downside to this guy.
And now we're moving on to number 9, where we got Brandon Ayuk. Now, he is in a phenomenal offense with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, one of the great offensive masterminds in the game right now. He just knows how to get his players the ball in all sort of different ways. And I feel like Brandon Ayuk, hot take, I think Brandon Ayuk is just straight up a better overall receiver than Deebo Samuel.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Deebo has been on the decline, and Brandon Ayuk's just been benefiting from it. Brandon Ayuk will go out and go stupid one game, and then he's, how do I say it? Brandon Ayuk, I wouldn't say he's inconsistent. I don't even know.
There's just a lot of mouths to feed in San Fran, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
lot.
just a lot. Yeah, exactly.
Like they got one of the best tight ends in the game in George Kittle. They got the best running back in the game in Christian McCaffrey. They got Deebo. They got a great offensive line. I mean,
Thank you for saving me, because you explained it better than I.
There's just
could've.
a lot of mouths to feed, and Brandon Ayuk is one of those gems that if you throw that guy the ball, he's going to do something special with it. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say that about the 49ers offense, because you literally give any one of those guys the ball and they're going to do something special with it. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So,
And there has been talks about him moving.
I was just about to say, here's my thing: is watch on draft night. This video will be out right before the draft, but watch on draft night for him to maybe be moved. And even then, he's only got a year left on his contract, and he'll probably go somewhere where he will be the solidified wide receiver 1.
exactly.
No
And
doubt about
he could have a ton of production as a wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
I think he is
100%.
absolutely capable of stepping into that role.
He's just a natural baller all around.
Yeah,
Brandon Ayuk is that guy.
he is that guy. We're gonna head on over to number 8 here. We have Puka Nacua, a guy who would be higher on this list. We just want to see one more year out of him, but I mean, what a fucking rookie year this dude had.
Yeah.
Record-shattering.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
rookie year.
literally record-shattering rookie year. And like we said, just the guys above him, I mean, you can't put him over, really, that top 5. The other 2 guys, just, a lot of talent. We just, need to see another year out of Puka. Is he going to be consistent with this?
Right.
And, I mean,
a
if
lot
he
of the
is,
time, a lot of the time that he was balling, he was still balling after Cooper Cup came back. But a lot of the times where he had those absolutely massive games was when Cooper Cup was out and he slid in his role. So,
oh my God, he's literally like a mini Cooper Cup. He's like the mini Hawaiian Cooper
He's the same
Cup.
exact player.
Really is.
It's
same
like
exact player.
Same exact player. Just that run after catch demon on the field. He'll catch the ball on a slant and take it 75 yards to the house and just make defenders miss. And it's just
he's a guy
unbelievable.
Where if I was a contender, I mean, you want him either way, but especially if you're a contender and you think you're going to win this year and my team's getting older. I don't know. This is somebody I would move one of your older assets to get, because Puka, you're taking a little bit of gamble because, like Tony said, we got to see another year out of him, see if he stays consistent. But there's a very good chance Puka Nacua is good for a long time coming, and I would want him on my team.
He came out of nowhere too, like.
Yeah, he did come out of
where the
nowhere.
hell did this guy come from? He was drafted super late in the.
Yeah,
I feel like he was drafted super late in the draft.
He was fifth round.
Fifth round. Absolute steal for the Rams. I mean, come on. For the production that he had.
Yeah, McVay knew. He made the call.
There's a video of him, and he was like, "Yeah, he goes,
in the war room.
This kid's gonna be fucking good." He said,
"This kid's gonna be Cooper Cup Jr."
Yeah,
but Puka Nacua, unbelievable rookie year. We just got to see a little more out of him and some consistency, because the wide receivers around the league are so good nowadays. The talent ceiling is so much higher than it used to be. There are 10 to 15 guys that have, similar production, but Puka Nacua is also 21 or 22, super young guy.
He's young,
and he's behind one of the best run after catch receivers that we've seen in the last decade or two. So,
and honestly, I'm going to give Matt Stafford his credit, because
absolutely
Matt Stafford has not only made Puka Nacua this year, he's made Cooper Cup, and he's also made one of the, if not the best receiver of all time, in Calvin Johnson.
The best receiver of all time, by the way.
I'm going to give huge kudos to Matthew Stafford,
absolutely,
because he's been doing his thing, and he's a big reason on why Puka is the way he is.
One of the most underrated quarterbacks of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
He does not get the love he deserves.
Well,
he had to deal with that shit-ass Lion team.
He was with the Lions, so I mean, it happens.
Exactly.
It happens. But anyways, moving on to lucky number 7, we got AJ Brown. This is Hunter's guy. AJ Brown is the definition of a go up and get it receiver. You throw the ball up, whether he's covered or not, he's coming down with the ball 75% of the time, which is a lot more than a lot of receivers in the league. AJ Brown is just that guy. You might, scroll through social media, see a bunch of drama and this and that, but he loves the city of Philly. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Big Batman made Emmanuel Forbes cry last year. I'm not even joking. He put 130 yards on his head and made bro cry in the end zone. I'm not even joking. I'll try to find a clip and put it in here, but.
Man, them niggas ain't no killers, man, they all soft. 30 in the clip, don't get your ass dog walk. Draco spit, 7-6, to this bitch a head hog. Popping out the cut, we coming clutch and let that lens fall. I'm aiming at his head, I hit his back, my aim dead off. Second drill, I called the eye, but he ain't died, man, my...
No.
He is just a dominant force
in
the league, and he fits perfectly with Jalen Hurts.
Physical specimen.
Yep.
He is just so strong on and off the ball. And
there's been a lot of Philly news saying, "Oh, he's going to get traded. He's a diva." Listen, as an Eagles fan,
he loves the city of Philly.
Philly media is the most toxic. I've honestly haven't seen anything like it in any other fan base. The most toxic media I have ever seen in my entire life. We have somebody as dominant as AJ Brown come in our city, lead us to a Super Bowl that we lost, but help lead us to a Super Bowl, and we're trying to push him out. Why? We're making fake news. He was never going to leave. Howie Roseman has been getting calls about AJ Brown, his availability. He's shut him right down. Said that he's not available. Which is good for Howie Roseman, good for AJ Brown. That's how it should be. I don't know why there's all this fake stuff about him leaving. Because AJ Brown is a dominant force. He's still got 2 years left on his contract. He's locked in.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. And like you said, toxic media. I don't know. I can think of maybe a handful of other organizations that the media around them just kind of plants these seeds, and it fucks with the team a little bit, you know? Like it's New York media. Think about the city around these teams though. Let's be completely real for a second. Philly, New York, let's look at a city like Boston, New England. That the media around Boston sports in general is so toxic. Like they're all about Boston, which I agree. Listen, I agree. I'm the biggest Boston sports hater, but I agree. You should, like, if you're around a certain team, around a certain fan base, you should be all about your team. But they are like borderline delusional. Like they're like, well, the Red Sox are going to the World Series when the Red Sox are like on the cusp of an 0-8, 182 season. Like it's crazy the delusion that these 162. Oh, I'm thinking of hockey. 82 seasons, 84, 82, something like that. I don't know. Whatever. But like, it's certain fan bases that I can think of: Boston sports, Philly sports, and definitely New York sports. They're like, the media around them. Oh, gets my blood boiling. I hate Boston. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Fuck the Bruins. Fuck the Red Sox. Fuck the Patriots. Fuck them all.
Ian's just on one.
I don't have to agree with every single one of those statements.
I hate Boston sports, especially the Bruins. Fuck the Bruins. Brad Marchand's a pussy. Anyways, this is not a hockey podcast. Moving on.
Yeah, no, AJ Brown is him. He's here to stay. He's 26 years old. He's somebody I would, if he's on your team, I would absolutely keep him. Now is definitely not the time to get rid of him. He's going to be good for a lot of time. Yeah. So, moving on, we got Tyreek Hill at number 6. The problem with Tyreek Hill, despite how phenomenal he's been his whole career, but the problem with him is that he spoke out and said he's heavily thinking about retiring after his contract's with Miami. Now, he is playing in Miami until 2026, so he's got some time left. That's why we got him as low as he is on the list. So I'm just defending that.
Honestly, just because of the guys we got in the top 5 are like, all young.
It's hard to count Tyreek out though. I mean, any of these guys can have a similar or worse season than Tyreek at any given season.
Tyreek Hill was drafted late in the draft to the Chiefs, and ever since he has just been a baller. And then he went to Miami, got a huge contract, good for him. I'm not going to say what he plans on doing after he's done in Miami, but he said some foul shit on what he's going to do after he's done in Miami.
Wow.
So that's what I think. Yeah, he might possibly move up a spot or two. No, I'm just kidding. But no, Tyreek Hill's a dog. He's been a dog. I think he perfectly complements Tua, and yes, Tua, he is a big reason on why you're good. So I don't know what you think you were doing in that interview.
Yeah,
but
Tua hater over here.
No, I'm not even Tua hater. Just
I'm a Tyreek Hill. Honestly,
Tyreek Hill's really good. He's done after the 2026 season. If you're a team that if you have a last place punishment and you're really not trying to do that last place punishment, push your chips for Tyreek Hill. You will not be in last.
Basically what Hunter's been saying this entire podcast is push all your chips in for like every single one of these guys.
No, don't. Well,
because I've heard Hunter say that like 10 times.
It's a top 10 list.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
I agree though. I mean, Tyreek is very, very talented. He is getting old, and
that's why it shouldn't be too expensive.
I didn't personally see the retirement statement out of him but I could see how that would happen. I mean, he is getting up there. He's what, 30? I want to say
No, he's like 27.
Is he? I thought he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was older than that.
Yeah.
The problem with him is not his age, is that he said publicly he's
Tyreek
going to
Hill
retire.
is 30 years old. Stop playing with him.
Is he?
He is 30 years old. Come on.
Holy shit. Okay, well I guess that makes sense then.
No, but like
Never mind.
Tyreek.
I agreed with Kian, and then Hunter got me confused, and then I agreed with Hunter, and I'm back agreeing with Kian.
So I guess right.
Tony's just an op.
Yeah,
Tyreek
pretty
Hill
much.
is one of those players though that age really isn't that big of a deal for him. His production.
He's not slowing down.
His production has not slowed down. It's just his motivation to play the game. And if what Hunter said about that retirement was true, then in another 2-3 years, and he does decide to hang up the cleats, will his production ever really fall off? We don't know. But wide receiver is a hard position to play until you're 35 or 40. It's a very physically demanding position. It's not like quarterback where Tom Brady can sit there in the pocket till he's 46 years old and throw darts. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not the same position. And running back especially is not that position. But wide receiver, I think it's hard to play past, I would say probably 35. But
100%.
in any event, Tyreek Hill, absolute certified dog. If you can, I would definitely go out and grab him. He's going to be cheaper. He is 30 years old if you are playing Dynasty. But if you can get him for cheaper, then absolutely go for it. He's definitely gonna help your team out. But moving into the top 5, I got Tony's guy. We got Garrett Wilson, right?
I think it was me. I'm supposed to go. Because I did Puka. And then you did AJ Brown, and then Hunter just said Reek.
Yeah, Tony's up. Retake.
Fuck it.
So we're going to crack our top 5 now. We got Garrett Wilson, my fucking guy, at number 5. And, I mean, this is a guy, 2 years in the NFL, 1 rookie or offensive rookie of the year, and cracked 1,000 yards receivings both year with some disgusting quarterback play. And
Absolutely
I mean some
foul
fucking
quarterback play.
putrid quarterback play. Tim Boyle, Mike White, Trevor Siemian, Zach Wilson,
Trevler.
Chris Strepler. I mean, like...
When Chris Trevler is the best quarterback that you just named out of those 5 guys, then you have a problem.
Listen, the people don't even know about Chris Strepler. Chris Strepler is a dog. But we're talking about Garrett Wilson, not Chris Strepler. Maybe we'll make a video about Chris Strepler. The legacy of Chris
45-minute
No,
pod
no, we
with
won't.
Chris Trevler.
Yeah, can we get him on the pod? Like, is that possible? By the way, CFL champion. Just want to put that out there. Chris Strepler, CFL champion.
Okay. Back to Garrett Wilson, though.
But hey, you guys are talking about him, not me. But yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Don't get him started on the Jets. He's just gonna go in.
But Garrett Wilson, I mean, gonna be great for years and years to come. Now he's got Rodgers at quarterback, and I think Jets will take a quarterback to sit behind Rodgers in this draft. So might already have a quarterback of the future.
Do you
So, I mean,
remember? Do you remember his week 1 catch against the Bills?
Yes.
I think that is the epitome of Garrett Wilson. He is just
pretty much
a circus show. He's like if the Harlem Globetrotters had like a football team, Garrett Wilson would be the wideout one because he's that good and he can make it look like he's just playing games.
He has glue hands.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Oh no, not again.
Oh shit.
But I think that catch was rated was actually ranked like the best catch of the year.
Yeah.
By the
and
NFL
it was
or
crazy
something.
because it was Thursday night, week 1.
It was literally the first game of the year.
First game of the year. Absolutely.
Or no, it was Monday
insane.
night. It was Monday night game.
Or yeah. It was a Monday night game. You're right. But absolutely unbelievable player. Garrett Wilson definitely deserves to be here. But these next 4 guys, I mean, there's no putting Garrett Wilson above them.
Yeah.
They're just
not even a chance.
There's like, all right, so we got the 4 top players, right? There's a significant gap, and then 5 through 10, which is saying something about these 4 top players. We talked about them last week. They were all, I think, top 6 in our video last week.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm not gonna lie, these top 4
5.
guys, if you don't have, if you're in Dynasty and you don't have them, you're kind of boned because you're probably not going to get them.
Yeah.
Yep, and Hunter has
They're
two
just
of them.
they're
I have
just
two of them.
they're just
I have
worth
one. I have
too
one of them
much.
though, so that's fine.
But starting off with the top 4, we got Amon-Ra. It's hard.
My guy.
It's hard to say there is a weakest link out of these 4 guys, right? But if there is one, which is absolutely no shade towards Amon-Ra St. Brown, but Amon-Ra would be that odd duck. And that's why I think he's below, just a little bit below these guys. Amon-Ra, still a fantastic player. I mean, 2 guys, we were talking about it last week, are top 2 in slot wide receiver play. It's this guy at number 2, and it's CeeDee Lamb at number 1, who is higher on this list. But Amon-Ra, nonetheless, absolutely worth having on your team. There is no price that is too much, except for, I mean, obviously there is price it's too much, but he is probably at least worth 3 firsts.
He's worth a lot.
I mean,
and
that's just
pretty
that's
much
just,
impossible to get any of these top 4 guys.
Are worth 3 firsts and some change. Yeah.
If he's on your team, or if you're planning a fantasy draft coming up or Dynasty startup draft coming up, definitely keep an eye on these top 4 guys. First round, do not look back because these guys are worth a ton.
Absolutely. And they will produce. I mean, Amon-Ra had, Tony will tell you, he had an excellent season. Single-handedly won Tony some fantasy games last season.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's
big part of my championship.
There's no debate. A commonality with all these guys, though, is they will win you games. And that's just bottom line. When they are on the field, when they are producing at the level that they consistently do produce at, they will win you fantasy games. You will consistently be in the playoffs every year if you're in a dynasty league with one of these guys, or in Hunter's case, 2 of these guys. It's unbelievable. But Hunter, go ahead, talk about your guy. I know you're excited for this one.
Listen, wild scenario, hard to believe. My wide receiver 2 in the number 3 spot is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is Joe Burrow's right-hand man. Has been since Jamar came into the league. Fucking phenomenal. Makes something out of nothing every single time. And he is a normal size for a receiver. He's not big or nothing, but he's another one that just goes up and gets it. Absolutely mosses some people. I know he's owned Denzel Ward a couple games. Oh my God.
It's throwing Denzel Ward shade out there.
Yo.
Dude, like, no disrespect towards Denzel Ward, but you got owned a couple games. There are games where there was one, not this year, last year, where Jamar had, I think it was like 10 for 163 or something like that. Completely mossed him in the end zone. I'll include that clip too.
Yeah.
Not anymore, you're not.
Yeah, this bitch, I just do it. I hop on the mic and go stupid. I fuck on that bitch in the back, call me Cupid. I know that you clueless, you making that money, but you finna lose it.
Mossed him in the end zone, and Jamar Chase is something different. He's a phenomenal player, and I love every single bit of having him on my team.
Yeah, I mean, there's no debate. You probably
I drafted him right off rip.
If you're watching this video and you have any sort of football knowledge whatsoever, you know what these next 3 receivers are. You knew that it was going to be them. I mean, there's no debate.
Yeah.
But Jamar, an absolutely fantastic player. Just maybe a hair behind the next 2 players, but I mean that's really all the gap is. It's literally one singular hair follicle. I mean, these next 3 guys could be interchanged at 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
In any order.
I don't know about 1. I think 1's clear cut.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
We'll see.
See after this season. But we're gonna hop into number 2. We got Keenan's man, Mr. CeeDee Lamb, the best slot receiver in the NFL, as Keenan was saying earlier. I mean, like, what do I even really have to say about this man? Like, my AirPod just fucking died.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep gassing him up.
Let's hope this one works on. Jumping into our number 2 spot here, we have CeeDee Lamb. This is Kean's guy. As he was saying, the best slot receiver in the NFL. And I mean, like, what do I even really have to say about CeeDee Lamb? I mean, he's just dominant. He all over the field. He's making your favorite corner look like fucking the worst corner in the league, basically.
He's
CeeDee
looking.
Lamb makes everything so easy.
Yeah, he makes everything just look like he's just playing ball in the backyard.
And listen, there's talking about a possible holdout or whatever. I don't know what. Personally, as an Eagles fan, I don't know, Kean, what Jerry's gonna do with CeeDee Lamb. Do you think first of all, do you think they pay him or no?
I think you have to, but
Because there's talks about a possible holdout from CD.
There is, and I wouldn't blame him, honestly. He deserves the money. But if you, like, people are getting all bent out of shape about him not going to, like, the optional training camp. But that's exactly what it is. It's not mandatory. He doesn't have to be there. And if he's not getting paid what he thinks he deserves, why would he go? Right? Justin Jefferson did the same thing the other year.
Leading into my next question, do you think they're gassing it up, or do you like genuinely worry that CD could possibly hold out?
I think if he holds out, that would be the best case scenario.
Do you think there is a good chance of a possible holdout?
I think that's best case scenario because I think if he doesn't get paid, there's no reason for him to be there. He's one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the NFL, and we're not going to pay him.
So listen,
why would he want to play for a team that doesn't want to pay him? You know what I mean?
In our respective league, Kean's personally never going to give up CeeDee Lamb, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, no.
But if you're watching this video and you're thinking about getting CeeDee Lamb for mad value, wait and see if there's a possible holdout and see what happens with his financial situation. Because if he plans on holding out for God knows how long, because they lose money when they hold out. So depending on how long he holds out, if he holds out, I would try to get him at his weakest point where his value is going to be as low as it could possibly get. Because this is the time where you want to take advantage of something like that.
Which is still going to be like 2 first, which is so crazy.
Yeah, it's still going to be a really high price, but it's not that this situation makes it not untouchable. Yeah. That's my point.
Right.
So if you think there's a point in time where you've been looking at CeeDee Lamb for the last year, if you're in Dynasty and you're like, oh man, I don't know, like this price is mad heavy. Wait until the holdout, if he does hold out. Wait and see what Jerry does with his financial situation and go from there, because his price could be dramatically lowered. It's still gonna be heavy.
I think,
but it's not gonna be untouchable anymore.
I think genuinely that's why we haven't made any moves though. Is because we do have CD to sign back. We do have Parsons to sign back. And those are going to be massive contracts.
Regarding to CD himself as a player, phenomenal. Best slot guy in the league has been for not even just this year. I think last year he was still the best slot guy. Debatable with, other guys like Cooper Kupp, and I don't even know if. Never mind, maybe not. No, because I'm thinking of Kupp's 2021 year, I think.
What, the Triple Crown year?
The Triple Crown, yeah. I don't know, but CeeDee Lamb is the best at the position, and you cannot go wrong. Even if you have him, like I said, you got to wait and see if you get the right price. Everybody has a price in fantasy. It's a cold world out there, right? Even your best players have a price. You just got to name that price.
Right. And
you could change your team around. But anyway, enough of my Dynasty coaching lesson. We can, keep going on CeeDee Lamb. I'll let you guys talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's not much more to say. I think CD is one of those players that if you have the funds, there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't. And that's that, honestly. But wrapping up our list here at number 1 on the wide receiver side, Justin Jefferson. I had the same position, the same ranking last week on a different top 25. But the same things apply here. I mean, clear cut, number 1 receiver. When he has the quarterback and when he's not hurt, there is just no question. This guy is the most talented, the most productive, and just overall the best receiver in the NFL. I mean, there's not much more to say there.
I honestly don't think there's really much to say other than just Justin Jefferson.
He is priceless.
To be honestly,
he is one of those players that is priceless. Like, if you have him on your team, by the way, this is Hunter's wide receiver 1.
This is my wide receiver 1.
This
I got
guy,
Jefferson and Jamar.
you gotta be careful with his situation because of quarterback play. But I think the Vikings go out and grab a quarterback in the draft this year, so I'm not terribly worried.
You never know. You never know. When this video comes out, it's draft day. Tonight they may make a move.
Exactly. So
'Cause
you never know. But as of the time of recording of this video, his quarterback play is questionable, and that's at best. So we'll see what happens with him. But I truly do think the Vikings trade up. They make a move. They get their guy, and they get the arm throwing to Justin Jefferson, and hopefully
you got to keep him satisfied. I mean, obviously you know, like along with Stephon Diggs, that they're both divas. They want the production, they want the targets, they want the ball. And if they have shitty
They
quarterback
deserve
play,
it.
they absolutely do deserve it. They have every right to be. They're gonna want the ball, so I think the Vikings make that move personally. But and you'll see our mock drafts coming out on Instagram and TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You'll see our mock drafts before draft day.
Yeah.
But Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah,
by far.
clear cut.
Does everything right. You know, they talk about prototypes of receivers, you know, the deep threats, the physical guys, the playmaker. Justin Jefferson is all of that, all in one.
A+ in every category. I mean, there's very, very little that he can't do very well. And that's like unheard of. Justin Jefferson, just clear cut number one. But not much more to say there. But we hope you guys enjoyed episode 6. I can't believe we've made it 6 episodes already. How's that feel for you, boys?
Feeling good.
Feeling good, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But we hope you guys did enjoy. As always, leave your comments and feedback in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts and like the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you did enjoy as well. And we will see you next week. Peace out,
See you guys
boys.
later.
See ya.